be like from Rehan. Okay, you can do one thing. Maybe yes, you can just unmute your audio as well as you can show your video so that I can get to know you. And in the first class, so I want to know about your well-being, and what you did and what you're liking. So, okay, maybe Rehan. Yes, Rehan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so just you can turn on your camera
Okay.
so that I can see
Good,
actually you. Later on, I should be
good
able to
afternoon,
be
sir.
seen with you. No? Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Rehan. How have you?
Yes, sir.
How are you? Where do you stay?
Yes, sir. I am fine, sir. I am from Bogaigaon, sir. Assam, Bogaigaon.
Okay, you're from Monaco. Okay, so this
Yes,
time
sir.
I hope all of you have gone through your and this third semester result, fourth semester result, sorry, and
Yes,
all of you have done well. Seems well. Okay, so but the thing is, you should also be like don't just think that like it's online, so I'll just whatever I do or like that day it should be over. So don't do like that. Okay, so try to take the positive out of the online system. Okay, so I know there are certain positive, there are certain drawbacks. Okay,
yes,
sometimes people used to like you can say use it in a different way. Yes,
yes,
like to their advantage, you can say like that. But that is not that good because ultimately the people who are being affected is you, your friends, us, everyone. Okay, but the thing is, try to grasp the things as much as possible properly. Okay, and yes, that you should go ahead. And yes, regarding your like what kind of subject do you like? So this time, I believe all of you already know KTM stands for. Do you know? So it is written KTM. So is it a
yes,
bike?
sir.
Is
No,
it a
sir.
bike company that we are dealing with?
No, sir. Sir, kinematics theory of machines, sir.
Yes, correct. So this time this KTM is it's not a kind of bike, but the thing is, if you learn KTM, you'll be able to you'll be able to ultimately to go in a further details. You'll be able to manufacture or design that kind of rather than manufacturing, design that kind of thing. Different, I can say the how they are working. You'll get to know how engines are working. Maybe what are the different mechanisms available. How with the help of different mechanisms you will be able to do certain like certain tasks, accomplish certain tasks, etc. Those kind of things you'll be able to know from here. Okay, so this is one of the basic thing. Okay, it's this subject. Is maybe all of you can that's your names are already written. Maybe all of you can turn on your camera for some time. Assistant, Permiti, Shankar, everyone maybe you can turn on your camera for some time so that I can get to see you. Okay, and be familiar with your faces. Yes, Shankar, I can see you. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How's you,
Okay.
sir?
Yeah, I'm fine too. Others, Miki, Parthapati, Rishikesh, Artisman. Okay, Artisman, I can see Artisman. I can see Parthapati. Miki, your lighting, I think you should face out like your face is like this side. Okay, maybe out on the light. If you just can and Nilutpal, you'll come like this only every day. Nilutpal,
Yes, sir.
yeah, have you joined the Google Classroom?
Yes, sir.
Have you joined the Google Classroom? I think you are
Yeah,
not there in
yes,
the
yes.
Google Classroom. You have
Wait, sir,
joined,
wait, sir,
right?
I'm joining.
You join the Google Classroom because through that will be like you can say so many materials, etc. Okay, will be. I believe all of you are already familiar with Google Classroom. We have already been using it, right? So we'll go to use that. Okay.
Hmm.
I just I don't know.
Done, sir.
Okay, so your attendance joining.
Yes, sir.
Okay, done. No? Okay, good, right. Okay, so yes, as I was saying, so one by one, what have you done during your this break? You can say, I would say like break. Okay, maybe have you gone for any internship kind of activity?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So I'm doing internship, sir.
So where did you did?
So I'm doing in railway, sir.
Principal or who? You are doing in railway. Maybe one by one you can say where are you doing or where have you done your internship? What did you learn so that I can get a basic idea?
So I'm doing my internship in railway, sir, Indian Railway. This is basically in the coach maintenance report, sir, sick line.
Okay.
It's a year we basically get about the yes actually about the coach maintenance, a big coach there where we got about the idea about the hydraulic suspensions, then actually regular maintenance of the wheels, sir. Actually, when coach has traveled for around 16 to 12 months, it
Hmm.
regularly needs a maintenance. So
Okay.
I'm doing an internship on that, sir.
Okay. Very nice. So you are doing in Guwahati, Bangladesh, Dibrugarh, where?
So what in this one, Poltom Bazar, so just Poltom Bazar, this is
What?
coach, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So I believe you have seen like how the wheels, the shape of the wheel. You might have seen the shape of the wheel is something like you can say, uh, maybe one side of this wheel is kind of bulging outward. That kind of thing. Have you seen?
Sir, can you repeat it, sir? I'm not clear.
That means these wheels. Okay, wheel of the your this one the railway wheels. Okay,
Hmm.
so they are not just like your normal car or this wheel, right? So
Hmm.
yes, but you might have seen that uh, in one side. Okay, so it's like
Yes, sir.
in
No,
one of
no,
the
sir.
side it's bulging out there.
No, actually, sir, when the where I'm doing my internship, sir,
Hmm.
there is a provision that when a coach comes for maintenance, sir, the
Okay,
this whole upper portion actually basically the dabba which is there, it has been
hmm.
lifted by this one jack. So
Okay,
and these wheels regularly needs maintenance because of this friction, sir. There is a certain shape differences that arises in the wheel,
hmm.
maybe it's a point 0.5 0.6 differences and just it gets in the triangular shape, so those things
Hmm.
regularly needs maintenance, sir. So
Yes.
in for that case the entire wheel has been, I mean it has been disconnected from the this from main chassis, and then
Hmm.
this is sent for maintenance.
Okay,
So yeah, that is the thing, sir.
okay. Others, where did you? Shankar?
Sir, I am doing my internship in my local. There is a industry, sir. They do, sir, boring work, sir, of digging the
Hmm.
ground for water in mechanical way
Okay,
by using some machines.
okay. So have you have seen vertical as well as horizontal drilling? What?
Sir, the horizontal ones, sir.
Horizontal drilling only. Okay. So drilling and boring, what's the difference? I believe all of you now you know.
Yes, sir. At some level, I got the knowledge of them.
Okay, here Mickey, this Nirutman can mute yourself. Yes, here Mickey. Am I audible, here Mickey?
Pardon,
Yes. Where
sir?
did you internship? Where did you or you are doing or what?
The internship we did here in Shillong, sir. We did for the printing press machine.
Printing press machine. Okay, so it's an
Yes, sir.
automatic one.
Hello, hello, sir.
In, okay, our system.
Yes, sir. Sir, sir, are you able to see me, sir?
No, no, I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Oh, sir, actually, there's some problem in my camera, sir. Actually, sir, I'm
Okay.
so like I just did my internship from this one NRL, sir, Numoligo Refinery Limited. Sir,
Okay, very good.
there we have been shown with the various kinds of machines, sir, how they work, and
Hmm.
the machines which has been used in the manufacturing processes, such as
Hmm.
pump and turbines. Sir, the working
Those
of
are used for
such.
manufacturing.
Sir, no, sir. Actually, sir, turbines and the pumps, sir, they are used for, sir, actually, flow of, sir, water, sir.
Hmm.
Flowing of water, sir. Water from one part to various parts, sir.
Turbine also flowing of water
Sir, turbines, sir, basically it's just due to wind, sir. Sir, wind.
due to wind.
Yes, sir. Turbines, sir, when
Because
it
due
rotates.
to wind or there is a captive power plant, right?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
So in that captive power plant, I believe you have seen the turbine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the use of that captive power plant, which are generally there in a power plant?
Sir,
Basically, it's a kind of, it is not dependent on the external power. Okay, it
yeah,
generates
yes,
its own power. Okay, so that
yes,
like we are dependent on the APDCL or like that. Okay, they are
yes,
supplying us
yes,
the electricity. So actually, those plants like NRL, maybe if you go for other refinery or some other big
yeah,
big industries and all,
yes, sir.
generally they have got a captive power plant. It's known as captive power plant. So captive is nothing but it is the fence within that zone it is being there. Okay, so and they
Yes, sir.
actually are designed in such a way that actually they are able to produce their own requirement of power. Okay, whatever power consumption is there, so they are
Yes,
not
sir.
dependent on the other source. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
that's why. So it is not for that turbine is not for flowing of water like that. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so through that use of that water or other sources, okay, whatever is of their source,
Yes,
so
sir.
they are actually generated. Okay, Rishikesh, Pasumatari and Rishikesh now both are here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Pasumatari. Yes, uh,
Good afternoon, sir.
yes, good afternoon. Internship, what about your internship? What did you do?
Sir, I'm doing one internship, sir, here in Rajapara, sir, in water syntax facility, sir.
Water syntax facility means what they are doing there?
Sir,
Manufacturing tank kind of thing or doing something
yes,
else?
sir. The water tank, those kind of machines are used for making chairs and water tanks, sir. Those kind of machines.
Okay, that means you are seeing, you have seen blow machine, you are seeing like what are the machines that are available there?
Sir,
Molding machine,
sir, sir, some raw materials like small plastics balls
pellets.
are used and they are heated to a very high temperature and they're molded and
Yeah.
different plastic shape structures are created, sir, in those machines.
Yes, what is the, I am asking, what is the name of that particular machine? This injection molding.
Sir,
Yes, injection
machine
molding. Have you heard? Injection molding.
injection molding.
Injection, like just like your COVID vaccine, injection
Yes,
mold, right? They are using injection molding machine or something
yes,
else,
sir. Yes, sir. I
or
think they're
blower
using, sir.
injection mold. Okay, so you can see different parts which are made out of polymer, right?
Yes, sir.
As you can
Sorry, sir. Not hear you.
yes, Rishikesh Nath, I'm talking about right now, Rishikesh Nath.
Yeah,
Thank you
sir.
for
Thank you,
for
sir.
this.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, hello, Rishikesh. Just the same thing, same thing. Where did you do
Yes, sir. So I have done my internship from Tata Motors, Howley.
Motors Khawli?
Yeah,
It's a servicing one or what?
servicing one, sir. Commercial vehicles.
Commercial vehicle servicing.
Yes,
What
sir.
did you see there?
So then some the parts of being heavy vehicles like trucks and all, and that's all, sir.
Yes, that
Different.
is good. What are the different parts you have seen? You have seen the steering, maybe you have seen like the differential you must have seen. They must have emphasized on the differential, right? Yes. Then you have seen the hook joint, etc. Right?
Some different
Universal
technologies.
joint or hook joint, they are saying, right?
Mm, I don't remember sir exactly.
I don't remember. Okay. So I think Mahasal, I think, Mahasal is here. Is a no, yes. Is here. Okay. So anyhow, so yes. So once again, good afternoon, and all of you. I just welcome to a new session, the autumn 2021, and this time, as you have seen in your this timetable. So it's written KTM in bracket PS. So KTM, it doesn't stand for the KTM bike manufacturing company that you have seen. Okay, some of you might have or maybe there's something about. So it's not that. It's a kinematics and theory of machine. That particular subject we are talking about right now here, and along with that, PS whatever is written is not police station. Okay, don't misunderstand it as a police station. It's my name. It's Pranjal Sharma. I'm a senior assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. So even though I have not taken your class up to this fourth semester. So now onwards, I think mostly in all the semesters will be meeting. Okay, and in your mentoring, well, mentoring for you pull in the fourth semester we met, but some of the faces are not that much familiar with me. So now I hope within some days I'll be also able to memorize your name along with your faces. Till then, just whenever by looking at your I can say name, etc., I'll be calling you, just respond like that. Okay, so yes, so this subject, kinematics and theory of motion, just I'll be presenting the screen. Let me know whether it's visible or not once I share it. Okay. So actually, I have shared my screen. So just let me know. Can you see it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this kinematics and theory of machines, in short, KTM, it's a four-credit subject. That means we'll be meeting theoretically 60 hours per week. We should meet 4 hours. That means four classes, and theoretically it's 60 hours in the total session. But we will not be getting so many hours, 60 hours, maybe around 50, 52 hours. Generally, we get in a semester. Okay. So today I'll be going through the, you can say, what are the objective, what are the different contents that is there in this particular syllabus, okay, what we'll be discussing, and the learning outcome, what are those, okay, that we'll discuss. So basically the objective is basically to deepen your understanding of kinematic analysis as an essential element of the design and synthesis process of different mechanisms. So that is one of the prime objective, and we want to develop your skills in analytical as well as graphical methods for understanding the kinematics and dynamics of different mechanisms. So now, directly on only by looking at this topic, maybe you might be thinking, okay, what is this kinematics, dynamics, or like that. But during this course of study, you'll understand what we understand the kinematics, dynamics, etc. And I believe all of you already have a fair idea about kinematics and dynamics, not about the mechanism, etc. From your engineering mechanics knowledge, right? So all of you have heard those words, kinematics, dynamics, etc. I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now we'll be having basically 5 modules here. So first module is basically about the introduction to machine and mechanisms. Okay. So here we'll be basically dealing with the different initial concepts about machine and mechanism. What we understand by machine, what are mechanism? Okay, what are the different, you can say, of criteria of being called as machine or mechanism, or maybe what are the different basics like terms, pair, link, kinematics, and that kind of thing, basic thing we'll be studying here. And after that, we'll try to understand how basically a mechanism is behaving. That means what is its degree of freedom, etc. So that kind of thing also we'll study. We'll solve some numerical here regarding finding out the degree of freedom of your mechanism. Okay, then we'll be having certain like laws like Gauss's law, and Graveler's criteria, etc. Those for checking well how a particular mechanism is behaving, what kind of motion it will generate, and all. So those kind of things we'll study. Apart from that, we'll discuss some basic and very useful mechanism like the slider crank mechanism that you might have heard previously. The word slider crank mechanism. Similarly, different four-bar mechanism, etc. Those things we'll discuss, and there are different inversion. We'll discuss what is inversion and all. Okay, and some common mechanisms like quick return motion mechanism, which you might have come across in your workshop in the safer mechanism. Okay, similarly, different straight line generator, etc. Those things we'll study in the first module. That is basically about the introduction to different machines and mechanisms. Okay, how they are behaving. In the second module, basically, we'll be discussing about analysis and synthesis of mechanism. That means how see if a particular mechanism, whenever I'm talking about, we are actually using it or synthesizing it to solve some purpose, to do something. So now to do that particular something, arbitrarily you cannot do anything. Okay, arbitrarily if you design or if you want to manufacture something, it's not going to work as per your requirement. So in the second model, we'll see basically how like a particular mechanism is going to behave. Okay, and for that, the two most important thing what are needed is basically the concept about its velocity. Okay, how the a particular point of interest from that particular mechanism is having, how what kind of velocity or acceleration it is having, and based on that, actually, we'll be able to synthesize it. So that kind of thing we'll be discussing in the second module. We'll be discussing about the velocity diagrams here of mechanism. We'll be discussing about the acceleration diagram of different mechanism here in this particular second module. So in this second module, we'll be requiring the first module is something kind of basic thing, then some numerical, etc. Second module will be about numerical, but basically we'll be going for graphical method. So we'll require some. You must have all of you must have access to pen, pencil, all those geometry protector, etc. All those geometrical instruments. If you follow this while solving these problems of second module, okay, numerical, through graphical method, it becomes somewhat very easy, you can say. And there are analytical approach which also you can go for, but it needs some more analytical approach and analytical ability. So graphical method, whenever we'll be going for, it will be easy comparative to that one, and it will be giving you fairly accurate result, good result, and so will be going for that. But you need to have access to that. Next, third module is about cam and follower. So now here basically this part takes care of the dynamics part. So here actually we have got one very important mechanism known as the cam and follower. So here we'll see how what are the its classification, how why it is important, how it's going to work, what are its different terminology associated, how different displacement diagram, velocity diagram, acceleration diagram, etc. can be obtained for a given pair of cam and follower. So this cam and follower is something like you might have heard the word previously. So the cam and follower is kind of a particular mechanism where cam generally is a kind of rotating member, and the follower is something which will have different shapes. Based on the shape, there will be different name, etc. Those things we'll see, but their follower will be generally in contact with the cam, and it will be guided by a particular frame or guide. And now, whenever basically a particular movement is given to the cam, okay, that is kind of the input, and depending on its shape and the type of motion that is given, so the follower gets certain motion, and that motion can be utilized to do certain work. Okay, so that kind of it's very important in many can say in different machines and for the maybe in the cars also, in bikes also, there will be cam and follower that is even the different manifolds opening and closing valves, etc. in the different engines, IC engine, if you consider, those are also generally operated by, timely operated by cam follower. So those things we'll study in detail in the third module. Along it, we'll also discuss how to design a particular cam for a given purpose. Okay, let's consider you need to suppose do a certain work in a timely fashion. So for accomplishing that particular work automatically, so maybe you want to use a cam and follower. So now, what kind of cam you should use for doing your that particular task done? So that kind of thing we are going to get from that particular third module. Okay. And fourth module we'll be discussing in details about gear and gear train. Most of you, I think, in fact, all of you already know about gear and gear train. You have seen it, you have utilized it. Maybe you don't know how to properly like label them. Maybe how actually proper selection of gear can be made, or maybe how it's behaving, or what kind of RPM, or that kind of technical thing from the tech perspective you might not know. But I mostly, I'm sure all of you have already seen some type of gear, one or the other. Okay, so here in this particular fourth module, we'll be discussing about gear profile, the like different contact ratio, law of gearing, etc. How a conjugate action of gearing can be achieved, those kind of things in detail. Different types of gears, maybe bevel gear, worm gear, rack and pinion, etc. In detail. Apart from that, we will also be studying about and analyzing gear train, different types of gear trains. Okay, so like compound gear train, like if you take gear train, etc. And the last module that is about, we have got about surface contact and friction drive. Okay, so here we'll be discussing about suppose the type of surface contact, that is the sliding and rolling friction. Okay. Some of the things you already know from your EM knowledge. Then we'll also be discussing certain things about bearing and lubrication, how bearing is working, okay, why lubrication is required. Okay. Similarly, we'll also be discussing about the friction fluxes, how friction flux is working. Okay, what is the need, how the different plates are placed, and we will also be discussing about belt and rope drives, okay, which are kind of the friction. So these are the main content of this particular module. And here, as per your syllabus, your suggested readings are given. So there is like theory of machine book. Maybe you can go for a certain book, PPC book. We have also got Norton's book, that is also good, and one of the another good book in some in a better way if you understand. And Puss and Malik, that book also is very good. And we have listed two NPTEL courses for that also. So those things. Uh, After this much, any confusion, anything that, any clarification that you need, anyone?
So you'll be sending these slides to us.
Yes, definitely. At the end of those modules, I definitely will be giving you the slides. Okay, don't worry about the slide. You can do one thing while noting down. The main important thing you can note down while discussing, maybe something which you think that okay, this, because I'll be explaining from the slides because it's a kind of online, so I'll be making the slide also and explaining from there also. But in between, whatever things you feel, suppose this kind of thing I need to note down, those things you can note down. And other thing, that means whatever is available in the slide, I'll be sharing the slide. Don't worry about the slide. Okay. Mostly in regular classes, okay, while solving the problems, you go write down the, you can say like the different concepts, okay, maybe some formulas, etc. Then while solving the problems, you solve alongside. Those are the important. See, in all of you already know, all of you are already familiar with your this one online type of classes, so you already know it. It depends heavily on the student also, how you want to get the best out of. Okay, so sometimes it may so happen that all of you already know, sometimes maybe you have joined or somewhat distracted or like that. So that way, if you do, then it will be a loss for you only, because I'll be taking the class properly. So if possible in the class itself, you should try to clear all those things. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now regarding the, it's a kind of very important and interesting slide, system requirement, what we expect out of it. Okay, and that may lead to this result. So from this smiley to that smiley, which one do you want? Left one to right one? Result. The result, left smiley you want or right side, right hand smiley? Rehan?
The left one, sir.
The left
Left
one,
one,
right?
sir.
Yes.
Reference.
All of us want this, right? The result. So for that, what is required? Definitely the device is required. Okay, that is your presence. We need the network, your attention. Okay. So right now this network also means that network also present. Ultimately it depends on your attention level. But nowadays generally network is okay, but depending on your attention, actually the network is okay. Then the monitor, like some copy where you'll be using things. Similarly, like just like your mobile or computer, if you think of like mouse, speaker, if those things are there, your life becomes easy. Just like those, if you have those geometrical instruments right with you, okay, then while solving the like different problems, okay, maybe while drawing the graphical methods, maybe uh, velocity diagram, acceleration diagram from the second module, similarly cam design, etc., will become easy and correct. If you don't use those geometrical instruments in graphical method, it will be a wrong one. Here in engineering, only the loop, if the look is okay, only the look will not fetch you marks, right? If you discuss in terms of getting marks, then only if the look is good or look is okay, it looks something like that, will not give. But it has to be properly labeled and properly executed, like a, you can say, using standard instruments and all. Similarly, the processor definitely is good processor is required. You have to upgrade your processor, okay, so that, and how to upgrade it, like by increasing the internal hard disk size, etc. Like your, which is like your old and new knowledge, and just like any device, you need to have software updatability. That can be done by regular reading. By regular reading, I'm not meaning that only each and every day, each and every time you have to study KTM only. You should take break. You should learn other skill. You should do everything. Okay, you should even uh, help your mom in your household also. Do everything. But the thing is, keeping your best interest, that is the primary interest, is your study, right? Because you have got a career ahead. So keeping your best interest at first. Okay, so do all those things. Next, definitely external power supply, external hard disks, etc., UPS, etc., also is required. Okay, and I will act like that. Okay, I will be providing utility material data. I will try to support you as best of my capability, and if everything goes smoothly, everything is fine, then the result will be left hand side or right hand side. It's smiling.
Left hand side.
Correct. So, and that is what we want. Everyone wants. Okay. So next, prior to going for like today, I'll be just giving overview, nothing else. Okay. Now, prior to actually starting the whole syllabus, whole course, if you have any specific and reasonable requirement or suggestion regarding maybe the teaching methodology, considering all this online method, okay. If you have any suggestion to give me, okay, you can. You're most welcome. Could be some reasonable requirement. Suppose this way, if you give sir, becomes easy, or if it is possible, it will be good, or like that. Just like
So
one
we'll
has
giving
said,
you later on the classes, sir.
you'll be giving what? Sorry.
So when the classes will be progressing, sir, in that way,
Yes.
when, in my opinion, sir.
Yeah, definitely that I will take. Okay, take care of that. What I was saying is initially, if you have anything, any suggestion, you can, that also you can give, so that from the very beginning I can incorporate. Okay, so anyways, if you don't have any specific thing, then generally how we'll be moving ahead, I'll tell you. Okay, mostly as you already know, we have to go through online, so slides, etc., will definitely be there. Apart from that, I'll be explaining all those things. In between, we'll be solving some problem, etc., whenever the need and time arises for that. And during that time, I want that everyone should try to solve alongside me. Okay, because if I only be solving and doing the thing, then if you don't do alongside, then it will be like only I'm telling the thing, you're just listening and nothing else. And later on, also you may get hampered. So it's better if you do. Okay, so then for today, I think we'll stop. Okay, from next class, we'll start with the history motivation behind that. What is KTF? How we are going with that? Okay, and the initial thing will start. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so in the meantime, I'll be
Okay,
taking
sir.
your, okay, I'll be taking your attendance then. Just respond to your name. Nilutpal,
Present, sir.
Shankar, absent. Arshisman,
Present, sir.
Rehan,
Present, sir.
Partha Patel,
Present, sir.
Hiteswar Basumatari, or Hishikesh, not Hiteswar, sorry. Hishikesh was there.
Present, sir.
Yes, Sharmiti,
Sir.
Nahosal, Nahosal, are you here? Absent. Teja, Teja, absent. Rishikesh Nath, Rishikesh Nath, I could see previously. Emil, absent. Okay, then thank you for today. We'll meet in the next class. From the next class onwards, we'll be dealing with cancer. So we'll start. Okay, and tomorrow I think the first class we have KTM. So from the first class onwards, we'll start. Okay, thank you everyone for that.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Sir, is my roll number taken?
Yes, who is speaking?
Sir, Rishikesh Busumutari, sir. Is my roll number taken, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.